Does clutter ever overwhelm you? Do you ever feel like your belongings are taking over your home and perhaps even your life? It's a common problem many of us face. The piles of papers, the overflowing closets, the stuffed drawers, they all add up, creating a mountain of clutter that can leave us feeling stressed and overwhelmed. This clutter isn't just a physical burden. It can also have a negative impact on our mental health, productivity, and general well-being. The key is to approach it with a clear mind and a clear plan. Let's go over the crucial questions you need to ask yourself. The first big question you need to answer is, was I intentional when I brought this item to my life? But what does this mean, you might ask? Well, it's all about making conscious decisions. It means being fully aware of why you're buying something and why you're keeping it. Consider this: every item in your home takes up space, both physically and mentally. When you're intentional with shopping, you only bring in items that truly add value to your life. This could be something practical that you use daily, or an item that brings you joy. Now let's explore decluttering questions in detail. Let's start with personal attachment. Ask yourself, am I holding on to this item because of an emotional connection? We often keep things out of sentiment even when they no longer serve us. This could be an old high school jersey or a set of fancy china you've never used. If you've been hanging on to something simply because it's hard to let go, perhaps it's time to reconsider its place in your home. Initially, you may feel terrible about the idea of getting rid of the item, but you need to remember that letting go of an item doesn't mean you're letting go of the memory associated with it. If the item doesn't serve a practical purpose or bring you joy, consider taking a photo of it for memory's sake, then parting ways with it. And next, consider the frequency of use. The question to pose here is, when was the last time I used this? If it's been months or even years since you last used an item, it may be time to let it go. For instance, that bread maker you bought with high hopes might be gathering dust in the corner. If it's not serving its purpose, why let it occupy precious space? Next up, let's talk about the necessity of duplicates. Ask yourself, do I need more than one of these? Often, we find ourselves with multiple copies of the same item. Whether it's a stack of notebooks, a collection of coffee mugs, or an array of similar black shirts, having more than one might not always be necessary. If you find duplicates that you don't use, it might be time to part ways with them. Now let's dive into a question that many of us may find difficult to answer. Do I regret buying this item? This question prompts you to reflect on the reasons you purchased the item in the first place. Did you buy it on a whim? Was it an impulse buy during a sale? Or did you genuinely need it at the time of purchase? If you find that you regret buying the item, it's a clear indication that it's time to let it go. Lastly, let's consider the financial implications with the question, what is the cost of maintaining this item? Every item in your home, whether you realize it or not, requires some form of upkeep. This could be in the form of cleaning, repairing, or even just the space it takes up in your home. If the cost of maintaining an item outweighs its usefulness or value to you, it might be time to say goodbye. One thing to remember is that decluttering is not a one-time event. It's a continuous process of reevaluating and reassessing your possessions. And these questions aren't meant to make you feel guilty or stressed. Instead, they're tools to help you make mindful decisions about what deserves a place in your home. If you found these decluttering tips helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more practical advice on home-related topics.